Believe it or not, there was a time period when we actually had to ask or beg to simply get games that we all knew were going to do great for Nintendo fans, that we all knew that would do great on the Nintendo Switch. All because of that system, the Wii U, that decided to not do good, or more like people decided to not buy it, or more like Nintendo decided to not market it well, or whatever the case was. All because of that, developers had no confidence, and there was a time period where big games would just skip, and even AA games would just skip the Nintendo Switch 1, and even RPGs that people felt would do a good job were nowhere to be found in the first year or two of the platform. Japanese RPGs, companies like Square Enix and Capcom and more, that you know there'd be some awesome stuff that they can do if they simply just believe in the system, and they didn't. And that's why I'm so happy to talk about this. This is the reason why the Nintendo Switch 2 to me is incredible, because the quality of the system is good enough to be able to play the games that I'm going to talk about in great quality, and for there to be no question whether or not it's coming, and no question whether or not people are going to be excited to play it, with a vibrant base that is growing every single day. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. The demo is out, and goodness gracious, is this game incredible. Now, I don't want to get too crazy here with this game already because it's just the demo, but I am having a ridiculous amount of fun with this game, and there is a multitude of reasons why, but it doesn't just stop with Dragon Quest. There is something about this system, the portable nature of it with the Switch 2, the quality that it can do running a game like Dragon Quest, where it's 30 frames per second as a AA RPG on the Nintendo Switch 1, but 60 FPS in portable mode and in docked mode. Once again, I am not looking for a portable PlayStation 5 Pro for $700 or anything. I just want to be able to get some of these slick JRPGs on a platform anywhere that I want for a respectable price, and that's what the Nintendo Switch 2 has offered. But I'm also offering something awesome to all of you guys, especially if you're watching this for the first time. We are going to be having a giveaway, actually 2 giveaways. One giveaway for a $50 eShop card, and I will be giving that away at the end of this month. So make sure you subscribe and comment down below about your favorite RPG on the Nintendo Switch 1 or 2, or just favorite RPG in general, and what you think about Dragon Quest if you're going to play Dragon Quest 7. And I'll also be giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 system when we hit 150,000 subs on this channel. All you have to do to enter is, once again, just comment on my videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, notification bell, so you know when they go up. A winner will be chosen at random, and it's worldwide. But once again, you want to get in on the eShop card, and of course, the Nintendo Switch 2 giveaway, plus giveaways pretty much every single month. We're going to have eShop cards or other stuff or games. You're going to want to subscribe to the channel. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's get back into what I was talking about. Dragon Quest VII. Also, other RPGs this year. We're going to have Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which I promise you guys right now, this is going to be a super quality RPG. I want to make a whole separate video on it. This is going to be just a partial thing on that game, but then also other RPGs that are coming all within this year. This is crazy to see this. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, yeah, that's coming out at the end of January. And Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, yeah, that's coming out in March. This is AAA or high-end, best quality RPGs, JRPGs in the business, all launching on a singular platform this year. And we still have more that we haven't even talked about. We still have more that's going to be announced. But let's talk about Dragon Quest, because this game is hitting me in a way that I haven't been hit with a AA type of RPG like this turn-based game since 2023's Super Mario RPG remake. And this is a remake too. Interesting. And originally, at least, Super Mario RPG was made by Square Enix. Now, I know that the remake was not, but it was based off the work originally of Square Enix. So let's talk about Dragon Quest VII, though. This demo is incredible. The panoramic view, the cool doll visuals, doll-like visuals where they scan them in. You can see the quality etched into the character models, into the environment, into everything with this game. I love the vibes it's giving. There's a certain vibe that a game like Super Mario RPG, it's so unique to that with its style, kind of like the pop-up book aesthetic. There's something about that that has not been replicated very often that looks great. And this game has kind of taken that and put their own Dragon Quest type of coding and graphical features and look to it. And it's just inviting. It's just nice to play. It's just nice to look at. It doesn't have the greatest graphics in the world. Obviously, there's many other games that have much better, more in-depth Unreal Engine, all sorts of cool graphics. But this game has this type of style to it that I'm telling you, if you download the demo and you check it out yourself, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It is just super nice overall. Interesting visual style that you can rotate around and see the walls of the place that you're in, and the graphics just have a realistic but clearly anime and different coat to it. It's just hard to explain if you play and you see it on your TV. I played it portable in addition to playing it on my LG CX OLED with HDR and everything, and it looks beautiful on the Nintendo Switch 2 screen. It looks beautiful on my OLED, and it's so easily transferable. It's such a cool game to be able to just say, okay, I'm playing it on my TV, I can take it out the dock, I can watch something else, and I can grind and do other things and hunt down monsters and side quests and all of that. It is a perfect Nintendo Switch 2 type of game. And within the first year of the Nintendo Switch 2's launch, this is the type of stuff that fans dreamed of. If you told Nintendo fans back around 2015, 2016, even 2017, before the Switch 1 launched, that there's going to be a system in the future from Nintendo, within the first number of months, half year or so, you're going to be able to play a brand new RPG, Monster Hunter, a big Final Fantasy mainline game, a remake of a Dragon Quest game that was beloved on the PS1 and the Nintendo 3DS, in addition to a brand new major Fire Emblem game, all of that within the first year or so of a new Nintendo platform. You would probably say there's no way that's going to happen because the Nintendo Switch 1 had like Disgaea 5. That was like the big JRPG AA style of game. Man, it was rough in these streets with Switch 1 when it comes to JRPGs and companies holding out on us. So what was it, like Knights of Azure from Koei Tecmo or something like that? Very rough. But now at this point, it's all behind us. The Japanese industry is behind the Nintendo Switch with the support, and we're going to get stuff like this day and date in good quality on the Nintendo Switch 2. And of course, multi-platform is great too, but it's great to see that in good quality, not the 30 FPS stuff, which I just didn't like. I get it because the Nintendo system with the Switch 1 maybe not as strong as it should be or whatever, but still, I didn't like it with AA RPGs. Now we actually get those in 60 FPS. Trails in the Sky, we get that here with Dragon Quest, we're getting that here with a lot of different RPGs, so that's good. Octopath Traveler, that was 30 FPS on the Switch 1. What is going on here? So the Switch 2 came at a great time. It's been a while, but it came at a great time. It would be rough having to play these at 30 FPS, given the visual fidelity and what they're trying to do with it. Just that movement is not necessarily the best for these type of AA games. So I'm very excited about that. And like I said, it looks incredible when it comes to the game. The voice acting, music, sound effects, all on point with this game. Man, that's something that just jumps out at you when you're playing the game, the old school JRPG style. If you like Dragon Quest, you know what it's about. You have the magic, you have the abilities, you have the getting worked up, you have the heightened state, you have all these cool things that play a part into what makes Dragon Quest fun, but then you have the third-person view, which they changed. It used to be first-person view. I don't know why they ever thought first-person view was a good thing for a JRPG, but whatever, they did it. I guess it was unique at the time. But still, it's so good that you can see the characters now, because the characters are rendered so beautifully and everything, and the gameplay is just fantastic. Everything just melds together to create a type of Dragon Quest game that I haven't experienced that. Even though I've played a lot of the Dragon Quest games, you feel right at home, but this one just feels a bit different. There's a certain vibe to the controls, the graphics, the gameplay, and everything with the quality of life features that makes it so inviting to pick up and play. Plus, you can customize your own adventure. You can set however difficult or not you want it to be, so you can play it your style, your way. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is going to be a great game. I think it's going to review decently. I think it's going to sell decently, and I think it's going to lead to more Dragon Quest games being remade in this style. I am that high on the game, just like I'm that high on you guys making sure that you hit that like button if you haven't already done so, if you enjoy the RPG talk and discussion, and also subscribe, of course, so you can get a chance to win the Nintendo Switch 2, and of course, the $50 eShop card that we're going to be giving away at the end of this month. You can use it to buy, I don't know, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, maybe even Mario Tennis Fever, whatever you want to buy. Now let's talk about the next thing here. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. This game is going to be incredible. And the reason why I'm talking about this game back to back with this, because to me, it feels like there's something in the air of the Nintendo Switch 2. There's something that Nintendo's cooking up. Fire Emblem seems to be the first course. I think that there's going to be another one, another appetizer, more meals coming through, more big content. Monolith Soft's next game, but with Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, this is once again so key for Nintendo and Intelligent Systems to get a better quality system, because just like we saw with some of these other games on the Nintendo Switch 1, the crustiness that we would see for a game that probably shouldn't be as crusty as it is because of whatever reason with the Nintendo Switch 1 when it comes to the system was an issue. Fire Emblem Three Houses, as incredible as that game is, and Fire Emblem is not known for being a graphical beast or a powerhouse or even having great graphics really at all, ever, for the most part. When it comes to Fire Emblem games, they're not known for that. But there was an extra layer of crust when it comes to Fire Emblem Three Houses. Considering the size of the game, though, it was okay. The game's incredible. It's awesome. I love it so much. There's so many good things about Fire Emblem Three Houses, but there was some frame rate issues when you do special attacks. There was some resolution stuff, 1080p, but it looked kind of at times. If you look at Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave from the very beginning, you see it beautifully looking rendered. You see the character models. You see what's going on. Now, it's not perfect. They have like that ostrich or that bird or whatever it is at the beginning that Kai's on, and it's kind of not the best textures, but they're going to fix that up. Don't worry. It's going to look better. But either way, if you look at the character models and the environments, significantly better. And it's going to get better. It's going to look better than what it was. They're not done at this point. So Intelligent Systems, maybe Koei Tecmo, Nintendo, they're all going to cook. They're all going to put their heads together and figure out something for this game that's going to make it incredible. So the improved performance is definitely appreciated. The improved visuals is definitely appreciated. The story ties to Fire Emblem Three Houses is absolutely something that is incredible, because if you've played Fire Emblem Three Houses, you're going to be like, great, I'm going to find out the fates, or I'm going to find out different things about these characters that I love so much, or maybe new things that expands upon the incredible lore of what happened in that game. However, since there's a bunch of new characters, if you're someone new to Fire Emblem, which I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people who didn't play Three Houses or who haven't played other Fire Emblem games, they're going to say, hey, can I play this game? I didn't play the other ones. I didn't play Engage. I didn't play Three Houses. Can I get into this one? And I'm going to say, of course you can, because it's a brand new cast of characters with a brand new story and with a brand new everything, brand new magic, brand new classes, brand new stuff. Now, yes, if you've played Three Houses, because there's Sodas, she's a character from Three Houses, you're going to understand more, but there probably is going to be a lot of things in there for new people in order to get them up to speed, or for just to be something that's a standalone type of game. So I think that is the route with some ties. So if you've played it with Three Houses, it's great. If you haven't, it's okay. There's still a whole new story for you to experience and for you to be interested in. And I would not be surprised if Nintendo announced a Nintendo Switch 2 patch or upgrade for Fire Emblem Three Houses because of this game. But we have to be careful doing this, because I thought that with Metroid Prime 2 and 3, and they never released those before Metroid Prime 4 came out. But maybe that's more work, or that's more of an issue, or maybe it's an NSO thing. But I think that a patch for Three Houses is definitely something that I think that they can do. Koei Tecmo seems to have plenty of time at times and wanting to help Nintendo when it comes to Hyrule Warriors, and when it comes to Fire Emblem, or when it comes to anything. They're always there, like, ready to go. So I'm pretty sure that they could get something going with Nintendo for a patch to help uncrustify that game, because it's kind of crusty. Even if you play on your Switch 2, it's some issues here and there. But it's still an incredible experience that I recommend playing. But at this point, if you haven't played it, maybe you wait for that patch. Maybe it's there, maybe it doesn't. I don't want to promise it, but I do think that that could happen. And if it does, that'd be nice. Going straight from that to Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, that Three Houses of the Fortune Weave tag team combo on Switch 2. Oh my goodness, I think that would be incredible. So for me, at least, I'm kind of like in my own gaming bliss here with these awesome RPGs that aren't breaking the bank when it comes to visuals and graphics and the highest quality of everything. I don't need that. It's great to get it. I've got a PS5 Pro, so I can get that. I've got a PC that can play games at high level graphics and all that. I can have it if I want it, but to me, it's about the experiences, it's about the stories, it's about the classes, it's about the music, it's about the gameplay, it's about so many different things that I loved growing up that made games awesome. And the Switch 2, and these games just in general, the other platforms, these companies are tapping into that. People always talk about modern gaming, is it bad or not? And I get it, I've seen videos and all that, maybe I'll make my own video. But if you know where to look, and if you have the system to play certain things, you're not gonna feel like you're tapped out with modern games, because there's always the classic remake, the classic style of game coming back for you to get excited about. So for me, modern gaming has been okay. I've been playing the stuff that I find lit. The gameplay heavy games that have cool stories, that stress gameplay first, great controls. I can play anywhere so I can get more time into those games. I don't have to worry about all this other stuff. So for me, it's been awesome. I've been having a ton of fun, but I get it when it comes to modern stuff. But hey, find what works for you and play those type of games. But Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is going to be an incredible experience with fantastic gameplay. I cannot wait to see all the new stuff and classes and different things that they're going to add in. It's going to hit. It's going to hit harder than Byleth on Super Smash Brothers. It is going to be awesome. I cannot wait for that. And like I said, we got other good stuff coming. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection, and more for this year. There's so much good stuff. So what do you guys think when it comes down to what I said about the RPGs for the Nintendo Switch 2? And of course, subscribe, like, comment below, notification bell. Get a chance to win a $50 eShop card. And of course, the Nintendo Switch 2 when we hit 150,000 subscribers, which I think we're going to hit this year because of all the cool stuff that's happening with RPGs and Nintendo Directs and stuff like that. So it's awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Check out some of my other videos where I go over other cool things, like how the Nintendo Switch 2 got much better recently, and my top 15 Nintendo Switch 2 games of 2025, if you missed that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll see you for the next one. Peace out.